Thanks for clicking, you came exactly to the right place, because today we are going to compare the top 20 of sim racing hardware add-ons to each other in terms of immersion, performance and value. And now let's jump right in. Alright you guys, let's start pulling cards. I do have this little piggyback here with all the upgrades inside, and we're going to pull them one by one now. So let's see what we got. Let's start with Haptic shakers. Haptic shakers is already one of the most important upgrades you can get for a sim racing rig. But before we start with the evaluation, let me explain you how we rank the different upgrades next to each other. The first category we are talking about is immersion. This category measures how well the hardware tricks your senses into believing you're sitting in a real racing cockpit. It's all about the wow factor and the physical atmosphere that makes the virtual world feel believable. We look at how much the add-on helps you to forget that you're in the room and makes you feel like you're actually on track. Now let's talk about the second category, and this is the most important part for professional training. Does this gear actually help you to build muscle memory, improve your reflexes, like everything you need to be prepared for the real car? We judge if the hardware helps you to improve your driving technique, like your braking consistency or your ability to catch a slide. If it doesn't make you a better driver, then it will not score high in this category. The last one we will talk about is value. Here we compare the price of the upgrade to the actual benefit it brings to your racing experience. We want to find out if this part is an essential investment that gives you a lot of performance for the dollar, or if it's just an expensive luxury. This helps you to decide where to spend your budget to get the best results. After the ratings, we are combining the results into an overall pro score, which basically ranks the whole upgrade against each other upgrades in our top list. Well, let's talk about the immersion rating for the bus shakers. Bus shakers bring your rig to life by turning the game sounds into physical vibrations you can actually feel. You feel the engines roar and the thud of every gear shift right through your seat and pedals. It completely removes that dead feeling of a static chair and makes your brain believe you're sitting in a real vibrating race car. Without haptic shakers, your rig feels dead. This gives the haptic shakers in terms of immersion a rating of 9 of 10 possible points. Alright, now let's talk about performance. Well, haptic shakers give you what pro drivers call the popometer, which is the ability to feel the car with your body, so you sense exactly when your tires are starting to slide due to vibration, or when you've hit a curb too hard before you even see it on the screen. And this physical feedback actually really helps you to react faster and keeps your car more stable at the limit. It's not like a real game changer, it helps a little bit, so the performance rating, we give it a 6 out of 10. Let's talk about value. Well, haptic shakers are actually the best bang for the buck upgrade you can get in the entire sim racing world. For a relatively small amount of money, you get a massive boost in realism that usually requires much more expensive investments like a motion system or something else. It's basically the very first upgrade I'd recommend to anybody who wants to feel more connected to their car without breaking the whole bank account. Depending on what you get, you can really have a lot of feedback here for very little investments. That's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 in terms of value. This gives our haptic shakers an overall pro score of 8.0, which is putting it on the top of the list of our pro score top list. Alright, let's pull the next card. We're having motion system. Okay, let's talk about immersion. Well, a motion system is the holy grail of sim racing because your entire body finally becomes part of the physics engine. Instead of just watching the car move, you feel the real pitch, roll and the vibration of every single corner, as well as every bump and jump on the track. This is the ultimate way of tricking your brain into believing you're sitting in a real race car, but only, and this is an important thing to keep in mind, if it's dialed in correctly. So in terms of immersion, we're ranking it a 10 out of 10. Alright, now let's look at performance. Let's address the elephant in the room. Does motion actually make you faster? A lot of people will tell you no. They say it's a distraction, that moving around while trying to hit the pixel perfect breaking point, it just messes you up. And look, if you are one of those 0.01% of aliens who has already 10,000 of hours in a static rig, knows every racetrack to the perfect extent and by every millimeter, yeah, maybe you don't need it to set a new world record lap. But here's why the pros and real-world drivers train in motion simulators. Real racing isn't just about muscle memory, it's about feeling the balance of the car. When you're in a professional-grade motion rig, you aren't just wobbling, you are feeling the weight transfer under braking and the shift and balance through a corner. The secret is response time. Your body can feel the back of the car snapping or sliding way before your eyes see it on the screen. But, and this is the important part, it only works if the motion is ultra responsive and snappy. We're talking about zero lag. When the movement is that quick, it stops being a distraction and becomes a telemetry tool. It builds the exact same reflexes you need in a real race car. So if your goal isn't just a fast lap time in the game, but becoming a better driver in the real world, motion isn't just a luxury, it's the ultimate teacher. That's why we give motion in terms of performance a 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about the value, and to be honest, a full motion platform can cost as much as a real car. While training benefits can be incredible, but the massive price tag makes it a luxury that only most dedicated drivers or professionals are going to justify. It offers the best experience possible, but you really have to pay a serious premium for that level of realism. Nevertheless, there are coming a few new vendors on the market that try to make motion more affordable. For example, the new ARC PDK system, which is under development at the moment. I'm going to share more details about that later. So at the moment, we will rate motion systems in terms of value at a 5 out of 10. If you're interested in buying a motion system for yourself, make sure you don't miss out my other video. I will link it up here or in the end of this video, where I was on the Sim Racing Expo and tested all the latest motion systems on the market. It's very interesting, make sure you don't miss it out. This puts the motion system to a Pro score of 8.0, which is equal to the Pro score from the bus shakers. But should we put the motion system higher? Is it better than the bus shakers or worse? What's more important to you, the value, the performance, or the immersion? To me, the immersion is the most important thing, and that is why I decided to put the motion system over the bus shakers. But leave your opinion in the comments and tell me about how you would rank the motion system. Now let's pull the next one. Ambilight. That's interesting. When we're talking about Ambilight, we're not just talking about simple LEDs behind your monitor. This is more like related to full cockpit sync, where the light actually hits your hand and your steering wheel, where you, like when you drive under a bridge, for example, and you coming into a shadow, then you also got the shadow on your hands. And when you pass a street lamp, then the lights flashes across your wheel. So it's a massive trick for your brain to really, pull you into the cockpit. Yeah, so in terms of immersion, we will give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, let's talk about performance. Well, Ambilight does make the training a little bit more authentic, but it does not help you to get any faster. So in the performance rating, it gets a 0 out of 10. Now let's talk about the value. Well, actually, Ambilight is an easy project that can be done by do-it-yourself with some Govee Lights. Just add them to your cockpit setup. The value is incredible for the price you get, or you can even do it with own LED stripes and build it into your cockpit. So in terms of value, we'll give it a 6 out of 10, depending on what hardware you're getting. It's definitely an upgrade that's worth it having, but it's not like, you know, a real game changer for your performance, as we already said. That gives Ambilight a Pro score of 4.0. So let's see where we put it in our top score Pro list. We're having Ultrawide plus TrackIR. Most of you probably already know what an ultra-wide screen is, but not everybody will know what TrackIR is. TrackIR is that little guy here I'm using in combination with my ultra-wide screen. You can put it on your headset, and what it does, like when you move your head around, these infrared sensors will be notified and also move the screen on your monitor a little bit around. So you have the possibility to look around like in VR on an ultra-wide monitor, which is pretty cool actually. It's the perfect compromise between triple screens and VR. And in terms of immersion, combined with TrackIR, that's why I'm rating the ultra-wide setup of TrackIR a 6 out of 10 in terms of immersion. When it comes to performance rating, that ultra-wide setup compared to a single screen is absolute competitive, and due to that cinematic field of view, it's a lot better than a normal monitor. If you compare it to VR or to triple screens, of course there are some downsides. You can't view your side mirrors, otherwise you use the TrackIR in combination, and you're not that dialed in like in VR with the volumetric side. However, it's the better compromise if you use it with other add-ons like a motion platform, for instance, because it's not that bulky, not that heavy. You can tune up your motion for higher responsibility. Moreover, like if you're playing like a long-term race, you can race in that setup the whole day. It's not like in VR where you're after 1 or 2 hours absolutely stressed out and sweaty. That's not a big deal with the ultra-wide setup. I give it a rating of 6 out of 10 in terms of performance. Now let's talk about value. Well, actually, the ultra-wide setup combined with TrackIR is a fantastic space saver. You get a wide field of view and head tracking for much less money and hassle than a normal triple setup would be. And also you don't need a massive rig or super expensive PC to run 3 monitors. If you have a small room and a tight budget, this combo gives you 80% of the experience of the big rigs for the half price. And this is why I give it a rating of 7 out of 10. This leads to a Pro score for the Ultrawide plus TrackIR system of a 6.3, which puts it in our Pro score list right above the Ambilight, but below the bus shaker setup. Alright, let's talk about immersion. Well, of course, a high-resolution VR headset is one of the best things you can get to level up your immersion. It really pulls you into the car. You're feeling inside each and every car you're being set into. However, it only makes sense if you really get one of the best VR headsets, and also if you really have the highest high-end PCs on the market. And even if you're driving with a 5090, you still won't be able to max out the graphics in the VR headset to a same extent you'll be able to max them out like on an ultra-wide monitor or whatever other setup. So it will never look that sophisticated as it looks on a monitor, at least for now. However, like being in there, being able to look around, look in the apex, zooming in and out, oh, that's a real game changer for immersion. So if you dial it in correctly, you can really level up your experience. If you don't have that super high-end PC, it will look like crap. You will have that pixelated Mario Kart graphic, and this can also be a deal breaker for immersion. And that is why I chose only to use high-end resolution VR headsets here for this comparison with the highest possible available hardware. So this gives the VR headset an immersion rating of 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about performance, and this is where it gets interesting. I mean, the volumetric 3D view is perfect for judging the distance and hitting the apex exactly right. However, there's a massive downside for training, because you are blind. You cannot see the buttons on your steering wheel or your button box, and you always have to blindly know where every single dial is because you lose that visual connection to your physical hardware. And this is why a lot of professional race car drivers are still training with monitors over VR. Moreover, if you really want to reach the same performance in terms of FPS that you will reach in a monitor, you have to dial down the graphics that much that it will look like crap. That is why we are giving it a performance rating of 6 out of 10. Now let's talk about the value, what you get for your money, and this is the money pit. You're not just paying for the headset itself, which can already be like over 2,000 euros if you want a high-end setup. You also have to pay for a monster PC that's required to run it. You will need a high processor, you will need the best graphic card. It's extremely expensive and requires constant tweaking. For the amount of money you spend to get a clear picture, you could almost buy a full motion system, and it's a luxury toy, not a value investment. And this is why we give it a 3 out of 10 in terms of value. And if you think that this video delivers more value for the money than the VR headset, please consider leaving me a like and subscribe so I'd be able to make more content like this for you in the future. Thank you very much. This gives the high-resolution VR headset an overall Pro score of 6.0, which puts it in our Pro score top list, slightly below the Ultrawide setup. And guys, I know when it comes to talking about sim racing upgrades, it can be very controversial. There are a lot of different opinions out there. So tell me what you think, tell me how you would rate each add-on, and let's discuss this in the comments. I'd be happy to do with you. Thanks. From now on, I'm going to upload a video like this every week until our hardware top list is completed. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out the next video. Also, don't forget to watch my other videos in the meantime. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thanks for watching.